Thanks for tuning in. I'm the Gangster Nerd, and I'm about to educate you on SCP-272. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-272 is to be contained in a small wooden box in a vault at Sector 25. Apart from this, no further containment is necessary as the object is completely inert when not in use. Care is to be taken not to drop the item during transit. Description: SCP-272 is an iron nail approximately 11.5 centimeters long. Covering every flat surface are engravings of unknown cultural origin. The engravings have been described as captivating but scary in a majority of staff interviewed. The nature of the object becomes apparent when it's dropped onto the shadow of an individual. The nail will bury itself exactly 2/3 of its length into the material the shadow is cast on. Following this, two effects should be noted. The person whom the shadow belongs to will not be able to remove the nail by any means, and they are limited to movements that keep their shadow cast on the nail. The nail, however, may be removed by conventional means by anyone else, although those requested to do so report a mild aversion, citing claims that it feels fair. The object was discovered during a routine sweep embedded in an exposed rock face near an abandoned Air Force base, Afghanistan. With a human skeleton scattered around it, it was thought to be mundane until a researcher dropped it at their feet, subsequently pinned to the spot for 20 minutes before being assisted. Experiment Log 272-A. Test Subject 1D Class Personnel D272-01. Surface: rock face at Discovery Site. Lighting: midday sun directly overhead. Purpose: established nature of SCP. Procedure: subject was handed the nail and told to hammer it into his shadow at his feet. Subject complies. Once the nail had reached the 2/3 mark, subject could not continue. Subject attempts to move away but is unable. Subject soon becomes fatigued and succumbs to heat stroke. Object removed. Subject given medical treatment. Conclusions: the nature of the object is established. Experiment 272-B. Test Subject D-Class Personnel D272-02. As above. Light and surface. Purpose: establishing effects at night. Nail was dropped at subject's feet and embedded itself exactly 2/3 of the way in. Subject then asked to move 10 meters away from the nail. Object embeds. Subject complies, showing no adverse effects. Subject then attempts to escape and is terminated. Object recovered. Conclusion: subject is free to move when no shadow is cast. Experiment 272-C. Test Subject 1D Class Personnel D272-03. Surface: as above. Lighting: as above, but 2 hours before sunrise. Purpose: establish effects of lighting changes. Nail dropped as above. Subject told to walk in a straight line away from the nail. Object embeds. Subject shows no adverse effects. Sunrise occurs at 6:06 local time. Subject is 3 cleanup teams dispatched. Subject's torso recovered 106 meters from object. Showing signs of road rash and severe blunt trauma. Object recovered. Testing moved to Sector 25. Conclusions: Experiment 272-D. Test Subject 1D Class Personnel D272-04. Surface: concrete floor of Test Facility 25H. Lighting: 1 standard 60-watt light bulb directly overhead. Purpose: establish lighting requirements. Procedure: nail dropped on the shadow of a test subject. Subject told to walk in a straight line away from the object. Object embeds. Subject is free to move. Object recovered. Conclusion: insufficient lighting will cause no effect. Experiment 272-E. Test Subject 1D Class Personnel D272-04. Surface: as above. Lighting: 1 standard 1500-watt stadium light directly overhead. Purpose and procedure as above. Results: object embeds. Subject trapped. Object recovered. Conclusion: lighting requirements are established. Experiment 272-F. Test Subject 2D Class Personnel D272-04 and D272-05. Surface: as above. Lighting: 2 stadium lights positioned 90 degrees apart. Purpose: determine if multiple subjects can be held. Procedure: subjects positioned so their shadows overlap. Object dropped onto both shadows. Subject told to advance away from the nail. Results: object embeds. Subject 272-04 continues unhinged but reports feeling a chill. D272-05 is held by the object. Object recovered. Conclusions: object cannot hold more than one subject. Potential secondary effect observed. Experiment 272-G. 8 D-class personnel. See addendum for details. Surface as above. Lighting 4 stadium lights positioned in a ring around the subjects. Purpose: determine selection mechanism for which subject is held. Subjects positioned so their shadows overlap. Nails dropped onto all 8 shadows. Result: object in beds. D272-09 is held. 18 years old, Caucasian, 1.8 meters tall, 88 kilogram weight. All others free to move. Reports of a scream from all subjects except D272-09. All subjects except D272-09 seem to shiver. Object recovered. D272-09 removed from study. Experiment repeated. Subject D272-06 held. 24-year-old Hispanic, 1.6 meters tall, 102 kilograms. All others appear to shiver and report a scream but remain free. Experiment repeated 4 additional times as per above method. Discontinued after D272-07 fell unconscious. Subject given treatment for severe hypothermia. Conclusions: emerging patterns suggest that the youngest possible subject to be held will be. Additionally, secondary on larger groups observed. Further research pending acquisition of a larger sample group. Addendum: subjects of equal gender distribution, ages ranging from 18 to 59. Numerous physical traits are represented. Yeah, there's a whole lot of experiments for this thing, but I think we can just end it there. It's a nail that will hold you down if it's nailed through your shadow. And that, remember how they found it? And amongst a skeleton? Some poor dude got trapped there and just withered away. Oh well. I'm Walt, the most gangster nerd on YouTube, and I'll be seeing you soon enough.